The king heard a loud crash and ran to the treasure room. There he saw a great avalanche of gold, falling on his son and crushing him. Try as he could not pull the boy from the heavy flood. He dug and dug in the gold, but his son was lost. Too late did he feel the love he had for his only son. In the collecting of things, he ignored the only thing that really did matter. The king was consumed with grief and vowed to never possess another thing that he didn't need. He gave away all his treasure to the poor people of the kingdom and set out alone to live a life free of possessions. Was this mad fisher once a king? I found it very doubtful. You see, Lula, he said, we often learn too late what is really important in life. There is an old saying that the owl of wisdom only spreads its wings at twilight. What does it mean? I asked. He replied, it means that we only learn the valuable lessons when it is too late. We only decide to change when we are forced into it, with our backs against a wall. We can change at any time if we choose to, but we usually don't until it becomes necessary. In any event, there is always hope. And with that, I heard the sudden rumble of thunder as dark clouds suddenly gathered in the sky, and it began to rain. The fisher turned his face up to the sky and smiled into the rain. At last he turned to me with his wild but knowing eye and said, "Seek the middle way, Lula. Between all and nothing, find the middle way. But know that you will not find it out in the world. It is in a secret place that only you can find, and the greatest secret of all is that there is no secret. You will find the genie And when you do, you will understand even the dreaming gods. I have to jump across. Then I knew he was truly mad. It made no sense. A secret that there is no secret. But he spoke to me of the genie long before my dream where the wizard told me to find it. Was it a dream? I can't remember. For all I know, it was real, and I am dreaming now. Are we all asleep and dreaming the world? Are the gods real? It is all beginning to confuse me very much. I can only hope that he was right about the genie. I should much like to reach the mountain before winter falls. I wonder if my mother came this way. Did she brave the storms and lean into the wind, pressing on? Turning back never seems an option, I know, having come this far myself. Sometimes in the wind, I think I can hear you singing to me. You sing the rains, you sing the snows to me. It makes me brave against the elements. How my mind has frozen on you, on a soul beautiful as first frost. I am snow-blind, mad without footprints. Your coronal pallor, contoured and torpid as an angel's trumpet. I close my eyes and imagine you alone in a forest chapel, watching the snows fall on midwinter's eve. You see me through the window, standing alone in the dark pines, storm-torn and buffeted by the winds. You see me and slowly draw the curtains. I lean into the cold and think of the pale promise locked in winter. Though it is the dying of summer, the quietly encroaching cold hiding in leaves, it holds the expectancy of spring. A diminuendo of green sadly passes, but will keep warm the winter long and clutch the memory of warmth in our hearts. Though spring promises nothing of herself in returns, and summer swears no shrift of conscience in its leave-taking, we sing. We may come to regret that we rued the florid heat of summer, even as it slips always away again. We may yet sing of birth and rebirth, as the new grass lights the air and meadow birds sing with us. Winter groans in sheets of ice and burdens of snow, but in that voice we hear the promise of spring. With mittened hands cupped against the cold, we sing of life and light again the candles of hope. Not much left, I guess. There are those who simply never choose a path. They know that neither extreme is balanced, but they cannot find the middle path, and so they become frozen in a stasis of indecision. Distracted by anything and following the whims of the day, they seek to fill the emptiness with any passing fancy. They too seek the genie, but they do not know why, and so become lost. Even with unmoving eyes they see me. They would eat me alive if they could. I often think of my very first memory as a child. It was the spring thaw, when the blankets of snow began to melt, the sun shined its warmth, and the birds began to sing again. In my mother's frozen garden was a stone that had cracked, buckled by the cold, and there in the crack was a single tiny white flower, a bloom of only 4 petals. It bravely opened to face the world and greet the sun, as if in defiance of death itself. I knelt by the little snowflower and wondered at it. Here was life in the midst of frozen nothingness. It seemed precarious, tender, so unlikely in its setting. But there must be some hidden strength in it to have emerged here, overcoming the elements and the odds. It seems a fortunate incident of nature, like life itself, perhaps not magical, but wonderful that it has occurred. Even at that age, the flower made me ponder the teachings of the shamans. They told of how the world is dreamed up by the sleeping gods, and that when we die, we will join them in their dream of paradise and live forever. But I have seen birth and death, and know that they are different. I witness the workings of the world and think it natural, not the magical dreaming of imaginary gods.